Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is V and I am currently learning how to be a homemaker in the future. And one of the ways I am doing that is by learning to save money now. My boyfriend and I live on 2 incomes at the moment, but eventually want to switch to 1 income in the future. So the first way I do this is pretty obvious. I track my expenses, make a budget, for every month. And I also am trying to become more of an ingredient household and make my own stuff instead of having to buy everything from the store. So here I am making some bread. I got this bread machine from a friend and it has helped so much. And I feel like the final project actually turns out quite decent. I also make my own butter, my own yogurt, jams, jellies, and orange juice. Now, obviously, I don't live on a farm or anything, so I can't fully homestead. I don't have a dairy cow. I don't have a garden, that sort of thing. But, these are just simple things I can learn how to do now before I have that kind of lifestyle. The next thing I wanted to bring up was gifts. So, I love making food as presents because it's pretty cheap and I feel like just a lot more heartfelt, honestly, because it's something you put your time and effort into. This was a cake I made for one of my sponsees. Next up is beauty. I try and do as much of my beauty routines at home as possible. I got this hair curling thing from TikTok Shop for just a few dollars, and I think it does a pretty good job of styling my hair without needing to go to a salon. Also, I try and keep things simple with my beauty routine in general. I, use pretty inexpensive products. I have a super simple skincare routine, just face wash and salicylic acid wipes. Same thing with my nails. I try and do those at home. I used to go to the salon all the time and get these big fancy acrylic nails, and sometimes I do miss that, but financially it just wasn't feasible, so I try and do it at home for the most part now. And honestly, the acrylics are just not very practical. At that point in my life, I wasn't doing a lot of my own food making and working with my hands, so it was fine, but now I find it easier to have shorter nails. Next up, I like to reuse things as much as possible: jars, pots, pans. Next up are hobbies. There are pretty inexpensive hobbies, such as I love to knit. You can get pretty cheap yarns at like Dollar Tree, and again, these also make really great gifts, heartfelt gifts that you can give to people that are not super expensive. Reading is another hobby that is fairly inexpensive. You can thrift a lot of books, get them for free from the library and borrow them if you want to do that. And of course, you have the great outdoors. When I'm bored, I love to go outside. I take my dog out all the time. And there are also a lot of parks and beautiful scenery around where I live, so I am pretty fortunate about that. My boyfriend and I here were at Cypress Gardens, just fairly close to where we are, which was a super fun day out and was not very expensive at all. And for exercise in general, there's so much stuff online for free that you can do right from your own home. Now, dates. You do not have to go to a super fancy restaurant. You can find fun, pretty cheap things to do together. Here we went mini golfing. We also love to cook meals together at home, which is a super fun activity to do. It's not super expensive. You just obviously use the food you have in your house. Here we did a little art project. On this night, we literally just went to the beach and danced unsuccessfully, but now, of course, I'm not planning on working full-time in the future, but there are still side incomes that I can practice now. I love to babysit. It helps me prepare for my future children and practice the whole motherhood thing, right? But also provide me with some extra income on the side to support my boyfriend. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.